This is a copy of the Bible study notes on the subject of Proverbs, the care of the soul. The care of the soul. And when I say soul, I'm actually just using it as a word to describe our thoughts and emotions. You could easily replace the word soul with spirit or heart or something else. Very often there is more going on inside of someone than their outward presentation would suggest. We've probably all said, "I'm doing fine," when the polar opposite is true. We've probably all had someone say, "I'm all right," when they are a wreck inside. The heart knows its own bitterness, and no stranger shares its joy. Or in another proverb, even in laughter, the heart may ache. Because we and other people so often hide this aspect of our lives, our worries, our sadness, and our brokenness. Because we so often hide this aspect of our lives, it will require great wisdom from us to help ourselves and help others. And because we cannot expect anyone to understand us perfectly, even if we let them, we have a responsibility to care for our own souls as well. So firstly, we're going to look at the external care of the soul. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. If you stood on the scales this morning to discover you'd put on a stone in weight, you'd go from one emotion to another in a matter of seconds. Likewise, something can happen to us that sends our souls from one emotional state, such as happiness and peace, to another emotional state, anxiety and despair, in a matter of seconds. If you were literally weighed down with an extra stone in weight, you'd feel it in every part of your body. No part of you would be unaffected. You'd feel it throughout the day. It would make every step more difficult. In much the same way, whatever is going on inside the heart impacts every part of us. Our attitudes to life, our words towards other people, our coping behaviours, our enthusiasm for activities. What is going on inside us impacts every part of us. Unfortunately, whilst everyone can see the extra weight we carry around physically, the emotional weight that we carry around is hidden from everyone's sight. And yet, anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. That word "but" is a seesaw word. It changes the direction of the sentence. It was raining in the morning, but it was sunny in the afternoon. Tottenham were winning at half-time, but Man United came back and won. The word "but" is a seesaw word. Remember that as I read this proverb again. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. If someone's heart is weighed down, a good word from us can have a massive impact. So if we care for other people's souls, we'll want to give a good word. So how can we give a good word to help someone else? Well, I've got some more proverbs for us to think through. The heart knows its own bitterness, and no stranger shares its joy. I was really struck by the second half of this verse. No stranger shares its joy. I understand that nobody can fully understand another person's sadness, but surely we're not total strangers to people's joy. At occasions of joys, at occasions of joy, such as weddings, baby showers, anniversaries. We, friends and family, all pile around to the person's house and shower them with congratulations. We share their joy. And yet, even in laughter, the heart may ache, and the end of joy may be grief. I think it's saying basically that people are complex. We often experience multiple emotions at the same time. We might assume the word congratulations is the right word for someone experiencing joy, but there might be a multitude of emotions going on. The person might be celebrating the fact that they've become pregnant, but at the same time they might be grieving about 5 miscarriages that led them to this point. A person might be joyful that they are finally getting married, but be sad because their father is dead and isn't able to give the bride away on her happiest day. Even in laughter the heart may ache, and the end of joy may be grief. It just proves how difficult it is to know what is going on inside a person. We cannot assume we know what a person is feeling. We cannot assume we know what a person is feeling, but we can ask. As it says in the book of Proverbs, to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. We need to listen to a person, understand what they are feeling, before we speak. Proverbs 20 verse 5. The purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Well thought questions can give us greater insight into a person's situation. The showing interest and the simple act of listening to them will be a help in itself. It might also give us insight as how to speak that good word, even if that good word is literally our word. Even though I know all of this in theory, in the preparation for this study, it really made me realise that I, in the main, don't practice it. Even on the limited times I do, my good word tends to be more of a blank expression and a few mumbled noises. I don't know what to say, but I feel I've got to say something. But experience has taught me that the good word can be given without the person giving the good word knowing that the other person needed the encouragement. Many times my spirits have been lifted because some people just speak good words all the time. They encourage me without knowing it. They don't know I'm down or that I needed encouragement. They just speak good words all the time, that it just happened by accident. The more good words you speak, the more chances you have of your good word landing on someone who needs to hear it. And if we show care and concern on a regular basis, people will feel cared for and loved at all times. As it says in Proverbs 17 verse 17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Or chapter 18 verse 24, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. We often tend to be more like elastic bands than superglue. If we hear somebody is struggling or unwell, we'll be there in a flash, phoning them up or checking if they are okay. We're like an elastic band that we suddenly spring and there we are. But then we distance ourselves, maybe not speaking to them or showing concern until the next crisis. In contrast, a friend loves at all times, and a friend sticks closer than a brother. Friends are in regular contact and show friendship on a regular basis. People are more likely to open up to friends that they know and trust. And if we're in regular conversation with one another, we're more likely to find ourselves being an encouragement by accident. Proverbs 25 verse 20. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, and like vinegar on soda. This proverb was written before Taylor Swift and Mariah Carey. In those days, a performer didn't sing songs to an audience of other people. Singing songs was a communal activity. If you sang a song, you expected the other person to join in and sing from the same song sheet. This verse reminds us that we don't all share the same song sheet. Two people who experience the same situation might experience two different sets of emotions. We shouldn't demand people change their emotions to fit our experience of life. Cheer up, pull yourself together, man up, be a bit more positive. No, we don't all experience the same things. So that's about the external care of the soul. Now we're going to look at the internal care of the soul. The Proverbs we've looked at so far promote sensitivity and understanding when caring for the souls of others. They tell people to honestly bear their souls without fear of a harsh reaction. Yet when I read some of the Proverbs, I almost felt they contradicted the others. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. A glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Some of the Proverbs seem to be really gentle and understanding to those who are going through difficult times. And then you read one like this: if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Well, the Proverbs of Solomon, son of Solomon, begin with these words. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. The first thing you need to learn about wisdom is that the W in wisdom is actually a double V. Wisdom is very versatile. Knowledge is fixed, whereas wisdom is very versatile. For example, you can program a computerized coffee machine with knowledge. Every time it dispenses a customer a coffee, it will repeat the same bit of knowledge. The coffee is hot. The coffee is hot. The coffee is hot. The coffee is hot. That coffee machine has knowledge. Whereas a barista, a human who serves the coffee, will combine this knowledge with wisdom. If the person with Parkinson's disease orders a hot coffee, the barista will dispense the coffee and carry the hot coffee to the table. If an old dear with 5 cardigans on and yet white with cold orders a freezing cold milkshake, the barista will suggest that she reconsiders her order because the coffee is hot. If an athlete with sweat patches under their armpits orders a coffee, the barista will tell them that the coffee is hot, but the milkshake is cool. A computer has knowledge, but the barista has wisdom. She has the same knowledge, but she applies that knowledge in a person-centered way. Each person she meets is different. Every situation she sees is different. And so each individual requires a very versatile response. In fact, if you make the W in wisdom of double V, wisdom could be used as an acronym like this: WISDOM. Very versatile information given to specific people in different original moments. Basically, different people in different situations might require different responses. Sometimes it might be best we just listen. Sometimes we might just need to speak. Some people require a soft and gentle approach. Sometimes we meet people who we need to give a slight hard prod. So as we think about caring for our own souls, sometimes we need to tell ourselves to stop being such a stoic. Admit the pain, feel the pain, express the pain. But sometimes we need to tell our souls to fight back against the pain, or fight against the depression, or the despair, or the negativity. We need to fight back, otherwise it will drag us down further and destroy us. I think the need to fight back against negative emotions is suggested in the following proverb: a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. The origin of the word skeleton comes from the Greek words dried up. That's why we say as dry as a bone. So you'd think we could do nothing to make a dry bone even drier. Just as you think there is nothing we could do to make a bad situation worse. And yet there is. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. How we respond to a situation can make a bad situation better or worse. A glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? Some situations might call for us to embrace the emotion and stop fighting it. Some situations might call for you to engage with the emotion and fight against it.